And now moving on to some other news from Kashmir. More than 30 years after the tragic murder of Nurse Sarala Bhatt, government has reopened investigation in the Kashmiri Pandit genocide case. The Jammu and Kashmir State Investigation Agency launched fresh raids across 8 locations in Srinagar, including jailed terrorist Yasin Malik's Srinagar residence. The investigation is aimed at bringing to justice those responsible for the abduction and killing of the 27-year-old Kashmiri Pandit nurse in April 1990. Bhatt, originally from Anantnag and employed at SKIMS in Srinagar, had reportedly stayed on at the hospital despite threats during the early days of the Kashmir insurgency. She was kidnapped from a hostel by militants and her body was discovered the next day with a false note labeling her a police informant. Although an FIR was filed, the investigation had stalled for decades, reportedly due to fear among witnesses and operational challenges faced by the police at that time.
We are just outside the residence of Yasin Malik here in the Maisuma locality. Early morning, that's around 6 a.m. In the wee hours, SIA teams carried out multiple raids and these happened at 8 locations, including the one where I am right now. We've been told that the raids continued for half an hour and all of these people are ex-operatives, ex-commanders of the proscribed Jammu Kashmir Liberation Front. The case of Sarala Bhatt, a Kashmiri Pandit nurse who used to work in the Sher-e-Kashmir Institute of Medical Sciences, and in the April of 1990 she was abducted and brutally murdered. Her dead body, bullet-ridden dead body, was found 4 days after her abduction. Since the family had been saying that the investigation, they're not happy with it, it never happened, it never reached its conclusion, there were no convictions and they were demanding justice. Now, of late we have seen that the LG administration in fact gave compensation and also distributed job letters amongst terror victims, and that process is still ongoing. It was also announced that there will be reopening of some cases of targeted killings of Kashmiri Pandits that happened in the early 90s. Justice has not been done and Sarala Bhatt's name was also taken. We've been told that at least 2 more such cases will be reopened and overall the process of more such cases being reopened is an ongoing thing. So that's what has happened today, and in fact, interestingly, it is happening, these raids happening just a day after there was this plea from the NIA in the special NIA court of the fact that Yasin Malik should be given death penalty. Now just that hearing date has been kept on 10th of November, and just a day after you have these raids in a 35-year-old murder case of a Kashmiri Pandit woman. To campus in Tariq Loan, Mir Farid, Maisuma, Srinagar for India Today.
आज 35 साल बाद इस केस को पुनः खोला गया है और लगातार कश्मीर में JKLF आतंकवादी ठिकाने और आतंकवादी सरगनाहों के घरों पर छापेमारी हो रही है। आज सरला भट्ट की रूह को जरूर शांति मिलेगी जब उनके गुनाहगारों और उनके कातिलों पर कार्रवाई शुरू हुई है। जस्टिस डिलेड बट नॉट डिनाइड in case of late Shahid Sarala Bhatt.
It's very well known that what role did Yasin Malik play on the genocide of ethnic cleansing of Kashmiri Pandits 35 years back. Picking up one case of Sarala Bhatt is a welcome sign, and we also expect that so many killings, so many rapes and murders of Kashmiri Pandits are there on records. We want every case to be opened. The entire race has been suffering and still suffering the genocide and ethnic cleansing of ours. So it's a welcome sign, no doubt about it. At least there is a hope which has been created for justice of Kashmiri Pandits, nearly 5 lakh Kashmiri Pandits. And we hope that this case the reopening of this case of the murder and rape of Sarala Bhatt will take Yasin Malik to gallows, and he will get the worst possible punishment, which will create an example.
It's a very good news because though justice coming late, but it's coming. And it's coming under the able leadership of our Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi, who has pledged to fight out terrorism to the last terrorist. That's a very welcome step. And our security agencies, they are working very well. They are weeding out all these terrorists, whether they are Pakistanis or who are sitting inside. The nation remembers that how Yasin Malik and these people, they were hosted by Sonia Gandhi. They were invited to this Prime Minister house, and long meetings were held with them. And these people, they were equating him with Nelson Mandela. This was very unfortunate part of our history in Jammu and Kashmir. But ultimately, as our Honorable Prime Minister has rightly said, that we shall fight these terrorists to the last, and we have seen that how the origin of the terrorism, that is Pakistan, they have been taught lessons.
Joining us live from the newsroom now is India Today's Pooja Shali. Pooja, you know, this is part of a larger initiative that we've seen from the current dispensation, where they want some sort of a justice to be given to the Kashmiri Pandit. But opening of this case, do tell us how it will bring hope for many cases like these.
Anjali, 35 years may sound like a long time, but for the Kashmiri Pandit community that has not only witnessed the violence and the exodus, ethnic cleansing, but it's also watched the perpetrators, many of them get away for a long time, like Yasin Malik, literally, who was able to reach out to our political leadership, enjoy tea and more, until there was action taken against him recently. He's currently lodged in Tihar jail. Now, what happened in this case? And I must tell you, as a Kashmiri Pandit myself, I have grown up listening to these two names, Sarala Bhatt and Girija Tikku. Both of them were young, brave women who had defied threats against them, against the community. Sarala Bhatt was a nurse. She was working at Skims Sora. She was literally a healthcare worker working for Kashmiri people. But she was abducted by the terrorists, and JKLF faced the accusation of it from her hostel. Days later, her body was found brutally tortured and a bullet-ridden on the streets, a thoroughfare at a busy mohalla in Srinagar. And that was a threatening message against the community. So I think of the Sarala Bhatt family right now, who possibly, even if there wouldn't be a big conclusion that we are looking at, but at least some hope has been reignited for justice. And importantly, in this case, remember, the 8 locations that have been raided by J&K Police's Special State Investigation Agency includes Yasin Malik's house, who was then JKLF chief, Javed Nalka, basically Javed Ahmed Mir. Nalka was a nickname given to him. He was a municipal corporation worker. They were all part of the JKLF, and about 6 others. This is important, and I say that because I understand the sentiment that the community would be feeling right now, which is at least there is hope that 35 years later, the J&K government and administration is at least looking to reopen the cases, and in hope that justice would be provided. A question remains, of course, how will the agencies be able to go ahead and find evidence 35 years later?
Absolutely. It will be a challenging task, but at least now the path has been opened. Thank you very much, Pooja, for all those details. Now